aliens disclosure. UFO 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 aliens disclosure. Let's go.
Welcome back, everybody, to another Deep Dives. This time, we're going to be talking about
UAPs.
UAPs, or, what some people call UFOs.
Right.
It seems like they're having a moment.
Yeah, they're
Everyone's talking about it.
It's true.
From, Congress to Hollywood.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it feels like a turning point in a way.
Yeah.
Like it's really, really shifted.
And so, today, we'll try to answer the question, is disclosure inevitable?
Ooh, that's a big question.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much going on.
There is.
Okay, so let's start with, one of the biggest names in the field of UAPs, Dr. Stephen Greer.
Okay.
So he's been advocating for disclosure for decades.
Decades, yeah.
He's recently called on Congress to investigate potential classified projects related to UAPs.
Mm-hmm.
So what's driving his relentless pursuit of the truth, and why should we even care?
Well, I think with Dr. Greer, it really comes from like a deep conviction that the public has a right to know about these phenomena. Mm-hmm.
And that the government secrecy surrounding UAPs, it's not only hiding potential technological advancements, but also hindering our understanding of our place in the universe.
Yeah, like, are we alone?
Right, exactly. That's the big one.
Yeah, or are we not?
Yeah.
And he even went so far as to establish whistleblower protection initiatives.
Yeah, that was huge.
To create a safe space for people with inside knowledge to come forward.
That's right.
Which is such a big deal because in a field that's often shrouded in secrecy and skepticism, whistleblowers face a lot of pressure.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, risking their careers or reputation.
Reputations, their livelihood.
Everything.
To come forward and speak the truth.
Yeah.
And he believes that by empowering these individuals to share their experiences without fear, we can finally shed light on what's been hidden for so long.
For so long, yeah, because it's been decades.
Decades, like cover-ups and,
Exactly.
just craziness.
Yeah, and disinformation and misinformation, all of it.
Yeah.
It's just a whole ball of,
Okay, so this is where, Dr. Greer's approach gets really interesting. And it's, he's not just calling for the release of government documents.
No.
He's also advocating for direct contact with extraterrestrial beings through a method that he calls the CE5 protocol.
That's right, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind.
Which stands for, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind.
Of the Fifth Kind, yeah.
So it involves using meditation and focused consciousness to invite peaceful contact.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
It has to be peaceful.
Like not blowing them out of the sky?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No, much more of a meeting of the minds and hearts.
So it's a very unique approach.
It is.
And it kind of sounds like a spiritual practice as much as a scientific endeavor.
Absolutely.
He actually held a workshop in London recently.
Yeah, I saw that.
To teach people these techniques.
Mm-hmm.
And while the scientific community might remain skeptical about CE5, it speaks to Dr. Greer's belief that peaceful communication is key to bridging the gap between humanity and potential extraterrestrial civilizations.
I think that's a key point, the peaceful part of it.
Right.
Because if you go into it, with fear or aggression or any of those kinds of, lower vibrational emotions,
right,
it's not going to work.
You're going to attract.
You're going to attract that, exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to go into it with that pure intention of peaceful contact.
He often says that the secrecy surrounding these projects not only hides incredible technologies that could benefit humanity,
right,
but also prevents us from achieving peaceful contact with other civilizations.
That's right. And I think that's really at the heart of what he believes, is that we need to open up.
Yeah.
We need to be transparent, and we need to approach this whole subject with a sense of peace and understanding and curiosity, really. Okay,
so is Dr. Greer a lone voice in the wilderness, or is he part of a growing movement pushing for disclosure?
Oh, he's definitely not alone.
Oh,
there are a lot of people out there who are on this train now.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so who are some of the other key figures making significant contributions to this conversation, even if it's from different angles?
Well, you've got Representative Tim Burchett, for example. He's taken a more legislative approach.
Okay.
He's actually introduced a bill to consolidate and declassify all UFO documents across various government agencies.
So instead of relying on leaks or whistleblowers, he's trying to create like a legal framework for transparency.
Exactly, yeah, create a system.
That's a bold move.
It is, yeah.
Considering the government's long history of secrecy.
Oh, absolutely.
When it comes to UAPs.
Yeah, they're very good at keeping secrets.
Yeah, so what's his argument for doing this?
Well, his argument is basically that all this compartmentalization of information is actually preventing us from getting like a clear and comprehensive understanding of the phenomenon.
Okay.
He believes that the public has a right to know, and that transparency is essential for like informed decision making.
Okay, so he's not necessarily saying like, I know they're out there.
No.
He's just saying, like, we need to know.
We need to know what's going on.
Right.
We need to have all the information on the table so that we can actually make informed decisions.
Gotcha, okay.
As a society.
And then we have the bombshell testimony of David Grush,
Oh, yeah.
a former intelligence officer,
Right.
who claimed that the government possesses non-human biological materials recovered from crash sites.
Yeah, that was a big one.
That like shook the UAP community.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Yeah, I mean, talk about pushing the issue into the mainstream media.
Yeah, like never before.
Right.
I mean, before it was all like, you know.
It was like fringe.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you know, you're a conspiracy theorist if
Okay.
you even talk about this.
And now it's like, uh-oh.
Now it's on the news.
Now it's like front page news.
Yeah.
What's so fascinating about Grush's testimony is that it raises the stakes significantly.
Absolutely.
We're not just talking about like blurry lights in the sky anymore. We're
Yeah.
talking about like he's alleging the recovery of physical evidence.
Physical evidence, yeah.
Like suggesting a level of government involvement that goes beyond just like observation.
It's not just like, oh, we saw something,
Right.
you know, let's write a report about it.
We're like, we have it,
We have it,
Yeah.
and we've been studying.
like somewhere.
Right, yeah.
Which is a whole other can of worms.
It's like something straight out of a science fiction movie.
Right. It sounds like a movie.
Non-human biological materials. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah. What is that?
It certainly sparks the imagination.
Absolutely. The imagination runs wild with that.
You know, his claims are still being investigated, of course, and there's a lot of debate surrounding their validity.
Right.
But I think, regardless, his testimony has forced the government to, like, really address the UAP issue a lot more directly
Yeah.
than they ever have before.
It's like they can't just like sweep it under the rug anymore.
No, it's too big.
Yeah, it's too big.
It's too big now.
It's contributed to this growing sense that disclosure might be inevitable.
Yeah, I think that's the feeling a lot of people have right now.
Okay, so how does Senator Kirsten Gillibrand fit into all this?
Okay.
She seems to be approaching the UAP issue from like a national security perspective.
Yeah, I think that's her main angle for sure.
Right.
She's you know, while also advocating for transparency, she's primarily concerned with the potential threat
Okay.
that UAPs might pose.
Right.
So, you know, her argument is that we need to understand what these objects are, where they come from, and what their intentions might be in order to, you know, assess and address any potential risks.
So while some people are focused on like potential technological benefits or the, you know,
Yeah, the
philosophical implications of extraterrestrial contact,
Right.
she's like reminding us that we need to consider,
Be careful.
yeah, the possibility of like unknown dangers.
Yeah, the what ifs.
Yeah.
What if it's not friendly?
Right.
What if it's, you know, something that we need to be concerned about?
Yeah, so it's a more cautious approach,
It is.
but I mean a necessary one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't want to like just open the doors and be like,
Right, welcome.
welcome. Yes.
Come on in.
Yeah, exactly.
Put the welcome mat out.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I think a certain level of caution is definitely warranted.
Yeah.
Especially when we're dealing with something that we know so little about. And you know, her efforts have led to increased funding for UAP research and a more serious consideration of the topic within the intelligence community.
okay, so she's actually getting stuff done.
Yeah, she's making moves.
Yeah.
She's really, I think, pushing the needle forward in a lot of ways.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So we've got like all these different players.
Yeah, it's a whole cast of characters.
Yeah.
It's like a movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
You've got like the scientist, you've got the politician, you've got the, you know,
The whistleblower,
the whistleblower,
the filmmaker. I
the
mean,
filmmaker, yeah.
we've got it all.
It's all there.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating to see how this is all unfolding.
It is, and it's like it's scary too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A little bit.
Yeah, there's definitely some things to be concerned about,
Yeah.
for sure. But also like exciting.
It's exciting.
You know, I mean, it's like
History in the making.
it is. It's like we're on the precipice of something.
Yeah.
You know, we're about to go over the edge, and who knows what's on the other side.
Yeah, it's really wild. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break,
Okay,
and when we come back, we'll delve deeper into this fascinating topic.
sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back.
You know, it's interesting to see how this UAP issue is like gaining bipartisan support in Congress.
Yeah.
You've got both Democrats and Republicans pushing for greater transparency.
Yeah, it seems like the stigma surrounding UAPs is like finally fading,
Yeah.
and like serious discussions are finally happening.
Yeah, at the highest levels of government.
Yeah, at the highest levels of government, which is kind of crazy.
It is pretty wild.
I mean, like, who would have thought
I know.
5 years ago?
Yeah, 5-10 years ago, we would be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's really, like I said, it feels like a turning point.
Yeah.
And I think part of that shift, that we're seeing like in the government is also happening in the public sphere.
Right.
Thanks in part to, individuals like Lester Nair and Jeremy Corbell
Oh, yeah, they've been like instrumental.
in bringing UAPs into the public consciousness.
Absolutely.
So Lester Nair, as co-founder of the UAP caucus,
Right.
is focused on public education and government accountability.
Yeah, and I think the UAP caucus plays like a really vital role in all of this.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of like that bridge,
Okay.
between the public's interest in UAPs and the often complex world of government research and
It's
intelligence.
like a whole nother language.
It is. It is,
Yeah.
and they advocate for a fact-based approach.
Right.
Avoiding sensationalism, which I think is really crucial.
And especially in this field,
Oh my gosh.
which
yeah.
is so prone to speculation.
Absolutely, yeah. You get all kinds of, crazy theories and
Right.
wild ideas, and so it's important to really try to stick to the facts.
Yeah, stick to the facts.
As much as possible.
And then there's Jeremy Corbell,
Oh, yeah.
the filmmaker who's released that incredible military footage
Oh, the footage.
of UAPs.
Yeah.
Some of that, those videos are just
Mind-blowing.
mind-blowing, objects performing maneuvers.
That seemed to defy physics.
Oh, it's how is that even
How
possible?
is that possible?
Right.
And, and Corbell's work has been a game changer
Has
in
it?
terms of raising public awareness.
Yeah, because those videos, they've sparked countless conversations and debates.
Oh, yeah.
And they've really forced the media to take the UAP issue more seriously
Yeah.
than they ever have before.
Because they can't deny it anymore.
No, it's on film.
Yeah.
It's right there.
That's oh.
It's hard to argue with that.
Yeah. You can't say it's swamp gas anymore.
No,
Well,
no,
yeah.
swamp gas doesn't move like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really been, I think, a major turning point in terms of public perception.
It's like we're witnessing this convergence of forces.
Yeah. You've got scientists, politicians, activists, filmmakers, and just everyday people
Everyday people.
all coming together being like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, what is this?
We want answers.
And you need answers.
Yeah, it's a truly global phenomenon.
It is. It's worldwide.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting too. It's not just an American thing or a European thing.
Right.
It's everywhere.
It's everyone's looking up.
Everyone's looking up, and it's a phenomenon that's been building for decades, really.
Yeah.
You think about all the sightings, the reports, the whistleblower testimonies. It's been adding layers to this mystery for a long time.
But what's different now?
I think what's different now is the level of seriousness
Okay.
with which the issue is being treated.
Okay.
It's no longer taboo to talk about UAPs.
Right.
In fact, it's becoming increasingly mainstream.
Yeah, you see it everywhere.
You see it everywhere. You
Yeah.
see it on the news. You see it in documentaries. You see it in articles. I mean, it's everywhere.
We're seeing congressional hearings, scientific studies,
Mhm.
even news reports on major networks.
Right. It's not just like the History Channel anymore.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's really gone it's gone mainstream.
It feels like we're on the verge of like a major breakthrough.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way.
Okay, so this brings us back to Dr. Greer
Okay.
and his like call for a new era of disclosure. He argues that the time for secrecy is over.
It's time.
The world needs to know the truth
The truth is out there.
about UAPs and like the potential they hold.
Yeah, and he really believes that this knowledge could revolutionize like everything.
Everything, okay.
Our understanding of science, technology, even our place in the cosmos.
It's like, whoa.
It's a big vision.
It's a bold vision, but is it realistic?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, because there are still very powerful forces
Right.
that resist disclosure.
Who are they?
Well, you know, there are those who believe that the public isn't ready for this kind of knowledge, or that it would like destabilize society.
Okay.
You know, create chaos.
It's like that classic like Men in Black scenario.
Exactly.
The government's like keeping the truth about aliens under wraps
Right.
to prevent mass panic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think the tide is turning.
You do.
I do. I think the pressure for transparency is mounting, and it's coming from all sides.
Okay.
You know, it's becoming increasingly difficult for those in power to maintain that status quo.
So it's not like a dam about to burst. It's more like a puzzle
Yeah.
with more and more pieces being revealed.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
It's like each new piece brings us closer to the complete picture.
Okay, so where do we go from here?
Yeah, that's the big question.
What can we as individuals do to like contribute to this movement toward disclosure?
Well, I think that's a question that each listener really needs to ponder for themselves.
Okay.
But you know, I would say first and foremost, stay informed.
Okay.
Read everything you can about UAPs
Okay.
from credible sources.
Right.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Okay, so like fact check.
Yeah, fact check, do your research. You know, challenge the official narratives.
Okay.
Demand transparency from your elected officials.
Okay, so like write to your congressman.
Exactly, yeah. And support organizations like the UAP caucus
Right.
that are working to bring the truth to light.
Yeah.
And most importantly, I think keep an open mind.
Okay.
Because we're dealing with something that is fundamentally unknown.
Yeah.
You know, something that challenges our current understanding of the universe.
Yeah.
So, you know, the answers might be stranger
Yeah.
and more wondrous than we can even imagine.
Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I'm still thinking about Dr. Greer's like CE5 protocol.
Yeah.
You mentioned that it's like controversial,
Yeah, it is.
but do you think there's any possibility, however slim,
Yeah.
that it could actually work?
That's the big question.
Like, could we really make contact with extraterrestrial beings through meditation?
I mean, that's a question that has sparked countless debates
Right.
and philosophical discussions.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, it's one that I don't have a definitive answer for.
Right.
You know, there's no scientific evidence to support like the efficacy of CE5.
Okay.
But then again, there are many things in the universe
Yeah.
that science has yet to fully understand.
It's like that saying, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Just because we haven't proven something yet
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's not possible.
Right, exactly. And I think that's the beauty of this whole UAP phenomenon.
What is?
Is that it forces us to confront the limits of
Right.
our knowledge, to question our assumptions,
Mhm.
and to be open to possibilities that might seem outlandish
Okay.
at first glance,
So we just got to be like open
open to whatever might be out there.
to whatever might be out there.
Yeah,
I mean-
and that's I think what makes this so exciting, is that we're really pushing the boundaries of what we know
Yeah.
and what we think we know.
It's a reminder that like the universe is a vast and mysterious place,
Absolutely.
full of wonders that we're only beginning to glimpse.
And that's, I think, what keeps people coming back to this topic,
Yeah.
is that sense of wonder and possibility. Like, what if? What if? Exactly, what if? Makes you wonder what else is out there.
It's like such a thrilling time to be like following this topic.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like we're on the cusp of something really big.
Absolutely. It's like the momentum is building.
Yeah.
And it feels like, you know, things are really starting to shift.
Okay, so as we're like gathering more information and kind of like piecing together this puzzle.
Yeah.
It's like crucial to consider like the philosophical implications of all this.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, we've talked about like the potential technological advancements, the possibility of like extraterrestrial contact,
Right.
the importance of government transparency. But what about like the bigger questions?
The big questions, the existential questions.
Yeah, like what would it mean for humanity to like confirm the existence of extraterrestrial life?
Right. I mean, how would that change our worldview? How would that change our understanding of ourselves?
Yeah, how would it change our religions?
Our religions, our philosophies, our place in the cosmos.
Yeah, and how would the discovery of like technologies beyond our comprehension like reshape our understanding of science and the universe?
I mean, imagine like technologies that we can't even fathom right now.
Yeah.
Things that seem like magic to us.
Yeah.
That's what we're potentially talking about here.
It's mind-boggling to even like think about,
It is.
would we feel like less alone in the vastness of space
Right.
or more insignificant in the face of like such advanced civilizations,
That's a good question.
you know?
Yeah, would it be like a source of comfort or a source of like existential dread?
Yeah.
I mean, those are questions that, philosophers and theologians have pondered for centuries.
Yeah, but it's like now they're becoming,
Now they're becoming real.
yeah, real questions.
Real questions. Yeah.
Crazy.
It's a humbling experience to realize
Yeah.
how much we don't know
Yeah.
and how much there is still to discover.
Like we're just like scratching the surface
Absolutely. We're just at the beginning. Yeah.
of this journey of discovery.
Okay, so as we like embark on this journey of discovery, it's important to like remember the words of Carl Sagan.
Oh yeah, what do you say?
Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known.
That's a beautiful quote.
Yeah.
And it really captures like the spirit of this whole, deep dive into UAPs.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have?
From like the passionate advocacy of Dr. Greer to the like legislative efforts of Representative Burchett and the like compelling testimony of David Grush.
Yeah, and we've talked about Lester Nair and Jeremy Corbell,
Yeah.
who are really bringing, these issues into the mainstream.
Into the mainstream, yeah.
And we've talked about, the national security implications with Senator Gillibrand's perspective.
It's clear that like the conversation surrounding UAPs has like significantly evolved.
Oh, absolutely.
Like even in the past like few years.
Yeah, it's changed dramatically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're witnessing like a growing momentum
Yeah.
towards transparency and disclosure.
It feels like it's inevitable at this point.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
And I think as this journey continues, it's important for everyone to, stay curious, stay informed,
Yeah.
and most importantly,
Keep an open mind.
keep an open mind. Because the truth is out there.
The truth is out there.
It is, and it might be closer than we think.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive
Yeah, thanks for having me.
into the fascinating world of UAPs.
Absolutely.
Until next time,
Keep looking up
keep looking up,
and keep asking questions.
and we'll see you next time.
UFO alien disclosure. UFO alien disclosure. UFO alien disclosure. UFO alien disclosure. Let's go.